Hello, everybody. Happy Philosophy Friday. Wait, it's Sunday. Whoops. I missed Friday. So we're doing it on Sunday. We're skipping Science Sunday because, hey, if you gotta skip one, let's skip the science. Not that science is boring. Okay, it's a little boring sometimes. And, philosophy is a little bit more interesting, I think, to every single human being ever, including people who study science for a living. They don't actually find science interesting. What? They just do it for the money. Fair enough. Although, to be fair, philosophy can be a little bit, let's just say it's a little hard. Anyway, I was reading The Apology, and we read the first 10 pages of it last week, and I finished it. It was like I read 10 more pages, and then there was like a few more pages to finish it. It's really short. It's just his apology. And I gotta say, there was some of it that I was like, what? I don't know what's happening right now. Falling asleep. Yes, I fall asleep. But then it got interesting. So mostly, he's talking about death. It's really sad. He says, a man should not calculate his chances of living or dying. He should calculate whether or not he's doing the right thing. And of course, how do we know? How do we know? He says, someone will say, and are you not ashamed, Socrates, of a course of life which is likely to bring you to an ultimate end? To an untimely end, sorry. Those words look the same. To him, I may fairly answer. He's such a cool way of talking. I wish I could talk like that. To him, I may fairly answer. There you are mistaken. A man who is good for anything ought not to calculate the chance of living or dying. He ought only to consider whether in doing anything he is doing right or wrong, acting the part of a good man or of a bad. Well, the problem is, what if you were doing something wrong, Socrates? No, he probably wasn't. So he's in court right now in The Apology. This is him talking to the jury, a bunch of men of Athens who are voting on him, whether or not they think he should go to jail, get exiled, die, or just be acquitted. And apparently the vote was pretty close. They did vote to convict him. Breaking news, everybody. But by a vote of like 30, which apparently was close, so there must be quite a few people voting. I don't know. But it's sad. It's sad because he seems innocent. Of course, Plato is portraying him as innocent. He says the proof for why I'm doing what is good. He says if I'm really corrupting the youth, then those youth that I've corrupted, would they not grow up? And when they grow up now, which he's like in his 70s now, that's crazy. When they put him in court, and I guess he got away with it because he was just doing it all in private. He would just talk to young men or old men, all different types of people in private. He wasn't really like publicly, but he'd talk to them and teach them how to question things. Question all things. Question not just the new things that come up and the tyranny, the 30 is a thing that took over in Athens. They took over the democracy. They're called the 30, and he was saying, you got to question, the new stuff and the old stuff. He's just questioning everything. So, hey, I could do that. Come on. But no, don't put me to death. He had to pave the way, apparently, to question things. No one knew how to question things before that. He said the proof is, all these people that I've been teaching, they could come up, if I really corrupted them, they could come up, or their families could come up, their moms and dads and brothers and sisters and all of them could come. And he's like, look, and he's pointing to all these different guys, all these names he has. This guy could come up, or this guy's here, and they're all here in the court, and they could testify against me if I really actually corrupted them. But they're actually here to support me, apparently. Socrates has some fans. People liked him. But also, the actions that prove that he's doing something good was when the 30, whatever they are, was it 30 people that like took over the democracy or something, and they were doing all this injustice. And they were in a battle. I can't even remember. Where was that? They were in a battle, and then they got the enemy. They were trying the enemy for trees or whatever because of the battle. I don't know. I don't understand what's going on, but the point is they wanted to they wanted to do the court and the trial all as of all the people all at once, the enemies all at once. And Socrates and a few other people voted no on that. They were like, no, we're supposed to do it individually. This is unconstitutional. If they didn't have, I guess it wasn't like whatever they had back in the day. It wasn't like America, but it kind of was. Whatever their constitution was. It's like, this is not legal. But that would have gotten the 30 to be, they would have killed him for doing that. But thankfully they stopped being in power somehow. Yeah, he says, for which I might have lost my life, had not the power of the 30 shortly afterwards come to an end. How convenient, Socrates. That's how you got to live to be 70. He's doing all these things, which don't even seem like, why would anybody kill someone for that? He's just talking, basically. He's just asking questions. Why would you kill him for that? But they always want to kill him, but he gets away until the end. And all these people are here to support him, is what he's saying. So that's proof that he's doing what's right. You know, he's like, I don't fear death. He's like, that's not what we should be basing our life off of, whether or not we're going to die from it. We should do it whether or not we're doing the right thing. And I'm like, I don't know if I could do that. Like, I don't know if I could be willing to die. I hope so. Just, I'm not afraid of death. Maybe he is, but he's just pretending that he's not. Probably. That's smart. Just pretend. But, so he gets convicted. It says, he's like, I'm not surprised. He's like, I'm actually surprised that it was a close vote by only 30 people or whatever. And, like, if 30 people would have voted the other way, would have been different. He wouldn't have gotten convicted. So he was surprised. He thought there would be a lot more against him. And who are these people? Are they like the jury? Are they just like his peers? Because he's saying, he's kind of a little prideful. He's like, I'm God's gift to you because I'm willing to reprove you. And it's like, okay. But also he's kind of right. He's like, everybody in all of history is going to see you guys as the villain. He's like, if you put me to death, it's mostly going to hurt you. It's not going to hurt me. It will hurt me, maybe. He's like, but we don't know. Maybe death is a good thing. But it's going to hurt you. You're going to look bad. And at first you're like, okay, Socrates, you're so amazing. But also, he was right. Everybody thinks that they were wrong for killing him. So maybe I should side with them. Who's going to side with them? Those poor guys who put him to death? Everybody thinks they were wrong. But they probably were. You probably shouldn't kill someone just for talking. I don't know. My opinion, though, hey, if the tyranny takes over again, do Socrates and just say, I accept my fate, I'll drink the poison. Why did he do that? So when he gets sentenced to death then, he's like, yeah, I'm not gonna cry and scream and lament like they usually do. And that's where I was like getting insecure again. I was like, because I totally would have. You're sentencing me to death? No, please. Take it back. Never mind. Forget what I said. And he's like, I don't regret what I said. But apparently, he has some kids. He was talking about his 3 sons that he has apparently. And he's like, when I die, please punish them, and reprove them if they ever think they're too highly of themselves. Don't let them think that. Okay. Good for him. Where are his descendants? Are there people living today that are like, yeah, Socrates was my great-great-great-great-grandfather or whatever back in the where are they? Interesting. I didn't know that he had kids. And yeah, so it was sad. He died. I think they gave him poison. But this is how he ends his apology. Also, why did they give him, they sentenced him to death? No, they let him talk a whole bunch. And then Plato somehow remembers all of it and writes it all down. And then then they convict him, and then they let him talk a bunch. And then they sentence him to death, and then he still gets to talk 3 pages. It's like, dude, It's a lot. That's a lot, but it's pretty cool. It's cool stuff. It's nice that we get to read it. Even though some of it's like, what are you saying? Why are you talking so fancy? I don't understand. But his last quote is really cool. The hour of departure has arrived, and we go our ways. I to die, and you to live. Which is better? God only knows. Because he's like, do we know that death is actually bad? That's kind of what he's been talking about after he was sentenced to death. He's like, is this even a bad thing? Like, he says, if indeed when the pilgrim arrives in the world below, he is delivered from the professors of justice in this world, and finds the true judges who are said to give judgment. And then he's like, I get to talk to all these people. Maybe when I die, I don't know, he's kind of dreaming, like, when I die, I'll get to talk to Aeneas and Tripolimus and all these people. Won't it be so fun? I'm like, why do you want to do that? No, I would be crying. I would be like, I don't care. I don't care what's after death. I don't want to die. Come on. Because I don't know. No, I know that it would be. Here's the thing, though. Here's the ending. I'm like, oh, we don't know. No, we do know. We're all sinners. We all deserve to go to hell. But Jesus died, so if you trust in him, you go to heaven. And I'm like, I hope that Socrates somehow heard about Jesus, because that's the only way to get into heaven. That's what makes me really sad. Like, really, I hope that, he seemed like a nice guy with a good heart, but that's not good enough. You have to trust in Jesus. So, but I would still be scared. I would still be like, I don't want to die. What else? There was something else that he said that was kind of interesting. Yeah. He was pretty brave, I guess. But yeah, that's he died. I don't remember what it was. That was interesting. I guess that's all. If I remember it, I'll bring it up next week when we read the next book. These are really short. Crito. It's called Crito, however you want to pronounce it. Yeah, poor guy. Anyway, that's all. Thank you for watching. And if you're gonna question things, try not to die.